What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Coming at you today with a collection update. I've got a bit of everything. It's about 15 CDs deep. There's death metal, black metal, thrash metal, doom metal, just a little bit for everybody in that. Before I get into that, I do have a giveaway going. I am giving away a vinyl copy of Black Mare with the album Death Magic Mother. Fantastic, kind of gothy, atmospheric type stuff. It comes on this sexy purple splattered vinyl. Definitely, I will link up in the description the giveaway link so you can go get in on that giveaway. Don't miss out on that. It is open worldwide. Someone asked me that earlier, and yes, it is open worldwide. It's kind of dark in here. I apologize for that. Lately, I've been fighting glare issues with my ceiling light, and I'm going to have to do something to kind of combat that. But now we're kind of in the dark a bit. I'm using some natural light coming in the windows. Hopefully that'll work. I'll see how that looks later after I post this video. We'll see how that goes. As I said, 15 CDs here. This was an eBay lot I purchased, kind of a mixed bag. I got a really good deal on this. There was some stuff in here that I'd really been wanting and needing to add to the collection. And then there was some stuff that I really wasn't super familiar with before purchasing that. So it was a kind of a nice way to add some stuff that I wanted and find some new stuff. As you know, I love grab bags and that type deal. So finding new stuff is always a welcome experience for me. First up, I'm just going to get right into it. We have some Swedish death metal, thrashy death metal. This is Maze of Torment with Death Strikes. This was released in 2000 on Narcosis Records, I want to say. Pretty solid stuff. Nothing just groundbreaking or original on this, but it is a solid listen. It's a nice little slab of that kind of late 90s, early 2000s Swedish death metal infused with thrash. Death Strikes is a pretty good name for that album because it's just furious, fast, thrashy death metal. I mean, it's unrelenting throughout the album. Great stuff. Next up, we have Acid Witch with I think this is their newest full length. They put out a couple EPs or something after this with Evil Sound Screamers. It's kind of psychedelic doom metal. This has a bit more of a hard rocky feel to it as opposed to doom metal at times. And surprisingly, those kind of catchy hard rock type songs are for me the better sounding songs on this album, but pretty good stuff. I mean, if you're following this channel, you're probably already familiar with Acid Witch, just Halloween metal, Halloween horror infused kind of doom metal there. Next up is one that I've been wanting to add for quite some time. This is a project that sometimes scares the death out of me. This is Blood of the Black Owl with their debut full length, and as Blood of the Black Owl. This is released on Vanity Recordings. I don't remember what year this came out. It's been out for a little while now. I have a couple of their other releases. Just kind of funeral doomy, hopelessness. I mean, it's like the loss of nature coupled with just absolute hopelessness on this release. It is a terrifying 7-track endeavor, and but I love it. I love it. I love the fact that it scares me to death. So great release. Super stoked to have this in the collection now. Fantastic stuff. Definitely check that out. As I always do, I will list the band name and album title in the order that I show them in this video down in the description. That way, if you see something that you want to check out, feel free to go down there, check it out, do the legwork, do the homework, and listen to them yourself. Out of Mountain Dew, man. I had to drink some Fanta today. I'm fainting. I think I'm going to have to run to the store here in a little bit. Next up, I picked up some of actually the two albums previous to this from this band a little bit ago when I was picking up like some death metal classics and stuff. And this is Messiah AD with Underground. And man, this sounds completely different than Choir of Horrors or Rotten Parish. I absolutely love Choir of Horrors. Love Rotten Parish. I had not heard this release. They've gone kind of, I guess, with the lineup changes and that type stuff. I mean, it's a new vocalist, all that type stuff. They've gone kind of groove metal on this. There is some actual, I mean, straight up Pantera worship going on this release. After I got over the initial being taken aback, knowing that this is not the Messiah that I was familiar with as far as the previous two albums. I did start to enjoy this. I think it's something I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time on. If you go into this expecting Rotten Parish or Choir Horrors Part 2, you're going to be extremely, extremely disappointed. But for what this is a pretty solid release. As I said, it's got a very, very groove metal type feel going on that. Next up, we have some Death Doom. I believe this is out of Serbia. This is Temple of Gnosis. As I said, this is Death Doom. It's released on ATMF Frontier. I have no idea on that. I have the name of the album is the Secretis Naturae. Yeah, I can't say none of that. It will be in the description. Pretty solid Death Doom. Very almost simplistic Death Doom at times on this. Just beats you down with repetition, I guess is one way to put that. I mean, it's like a brutal repetition. If there's any way, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Pretty good stuff. Not something that I'm just going to pull off the shelf every day and listen to. When I want to, it's almost for me good kind of mood music. When I'm in that like background, this would be something I could actually see myself putting on my like ripping to my computer and putting on my MP3 player and putting the headphones on and mowing the grass too, because I hate mowing the grass. And then if I could have something doomy, repetitive, and just putting me in that hopeless kind of feeling there in despair, then that would be something I think I could get into along that way. Next up, we have some black and death metal on Hell's Headbangers. This is Throneum with their 2018 full length. The light. Let me try that again. The tight Deathrope act over Rubicon. Pretty good stuff. I mean, this is a band that has a ton of material. If you've heard anything from Throneum, then you know what to expect. Just pretty well executed black and death metal. They have a ton. I think they've actually got 2 or 3 demos released since this full length, or EPs that's come out since this full length. Pretty good stuff. I mean, if you're into Throneum at all, you know what to expect with that, and you're going to enjoy that. It's well executed black and death metal. Next up, we have some black metal from Hell's Headbangers. This is Front Beast with Demon Ways of Sorcery. And just judging from that artwork gives a perfect feel for what you're going to get in this album. Just evil, occult, black metal. It's very raw, unpolished black metal, and it is, I mean, it's a throwback to that 90s sound, and the fact that they're able to capture that and make it sound great in today's setting is I guess kind of a compliment to Front Beast. Pretty good stuff. Definitely check that out if you're into that kind of raw, unpolished black metal sound. Next up, we have some more Funeral Doom. This is out of Russia. This is Comatose Vigil with their EP Narcosis. Fantastic. It's pretty much just a one-song EP. There's 3 tracks. It has the song Narcosis in English, and then they have a version of that in Russian. The same song, just done in Russian. Then it has a bonus track on this. It was limited to 900 copies on Solitude Productions. As you can see, I have number 822. I think it's kind of odd, like on the back of this, it just says bonus track, but the actual bonus track is Tears of Time by Crematory. I don't know, maybe if it was something that copyright stuff, I have no idea. I don't know why they didn't put that on the artwork there. Pretty good stuff. I mean, if this was on, if they could expand on Narcosis and make a full length, that would have been amazing. I mean, it is a fantastic track. Kind of hard to come by that CD. I was glad to see that in the CD lot. That's one that I'd had trouble tracking down, so definitely stoked to have that in the collection now. Next up, we have a couple. I did a update a little while ago that had some Razorback recording releases on that, and I have a couple more. There were a couple in this lot that I purchased as well. First up, we have Orloff with Apparitions Among the Graveyard Skies. This is some more just kind of Vanessa Notera. She's all over Razorback Recordings releases. This is just horror themed death metal. Everything that she's a part of has some kind of horror theme to it. This is just straightforward death metal with the horror themes going on. Pretty good stuff. Initial listen, I think I enjoyed it more than return listens. It's not something that I'm just going to pull off the shelf all the time and listen to, but it does kind of scratch that itch if that's something that I'm just kind of digging and wanting to hear at the time. Pretty good stuff. I love the artwork on that album. The artwork is fantastic. Next up, out of the 2 Razorback Recordings releases that were in this lot, this is the second one is probably the one that I enjoy a little bit more. This is another one with Vanessa Notera on it as well. This is a Skeletal Spectre with Occult Spawn Premonitions. This is Death Doom, and the artwork, I know I've been looking at artworks quite a bit on this update, but the artwork for this album fits it perfectly. It puts you in the mood for what you're going to be hearing right off the bat. It's just that doomy death type with more horror themes going on, but it works so well in this. Fantastic stuff. This is one that I hope you definitely check out if you're watching this. Fantastic stuff right there. Next up, we have Samael with Reign of Light. I think this is the second full length that he had put out, that Samael has put out since that Samael put out back when they were kind of in that going into more of a poppy type sound. They were kind of getting out of the dark black metal and just evil type stuff, and they were putting out this weird kind of poppy vibey type stuff, and this is the second one of that one. I think they crafted it a little bit better on this. It's kind of a nice mix of melody and mayhem, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this is Samael with Reign of Light. This came out I think in 2005. This is the album that it kind of grew on me. I remember hearing this back many years ago, probably a decade ago. Not a decade. Yeah, I guess it was a decade ago, and I didn't really care for it. And now that I've gotten it in this in the CD lot, I thought maybe I wasn't going to enjoy it so much. I thought it was going to be one of the kind of stinkers of the CD lot, but it's actually kind of grown on me. I don't know if it's just a maturity standpoint or what, or just the way my ears have developed over the years. I don't know, but yeah, I did enjoy this. It's not, again, this is not something I'm going to listen to every day, but for what this is, this was a pretty solid listen. So that was Samael with Reign of Light. Next up, we have some death metal out of Malaysia. We have Silent Death with Before the Sunrise. This is the debut album from Silent Death. I know that they've released material all the way up until, I think their last album came out around 2012, I want to say. This one, their first effort, and I mean, it's pretty good. This was released on Thrashing Fist Productions. I think it was limited to about 500 copies. As debuts go, it was a pretty strong, straightforward death metal release, kind of what you would expect from those areas over around Malaysia and that type stuff. They have a distinct sound, sometimes a bit more of a brutal tinge to their death metal, and this is pretty good. I think some of their later material sounds a little bit better to me, but for what this is a pretty solid release. Definitely glad to have this one in the collection now as well. This came out, I think, in '93, when that first came out. Next up, this is a band that I put off listening to for way too long. I'm a bit ashamed of myself now that I've actually listened to this. I don't even know if this band is still together as of right now. I hope so. When I hear progressive thrash metal, that is not something, just that tag is not something that I'm going to be drawn to. Sometimes I will avoid releases with that genre tag on them, and unfortunately I did that with this band, and now I'm regretting it because this was in this lot. I listened to it and I absolutely fell in love with this release. This is Vektor with Terminal Redux. This came out, I think, in 2016 on Earache Records. Amazing kind of sci-fi themed thrashy goodness, man. This is amazing stuff. I am so mad at myself for not having checked this out earlier. I've spun this probably 5-6 times since I've gotten this CD lot in. I've had this in for quite a little bit now. I've just been putting off making this video, but man, I fell in love with this album. I need to seek out more of their material now, because Vektor, man, they killed it on this release. They absolutely killed it. Fantastic stuff. And then last but not least, we have almost a cult classic here. This is some melodic death metal out of Greece. This album is the only full-length release from this band. It was released, I think, in 1999. And I'm super stoked to have a copy of this in the collection now. I'd actually almost forgotten about this release, and I saw it in this lot, and I was like, man, I think this was the first album that I actually listened to once this came in the mail. We have Vanity with their, as I said, 1999 full-length, Enslaved. Amazing melodic death metal. As I said, this is just a cult classic. Amazing release. If you haven't heard this, definitely do yourself a favor and check this out. Some of you older folks that watch this channel, they're around my age group, you probably remember this, or at least remember that name. The artwork and stuff may spark some memories and stuff that you thought you had forgotten about. So definitely go check out Vanity with Enslaved. I think this is one of the stronger actual CD lots that I've picked up in quite some time. I was blown away with quite a bit of stuff in this. I was super stoked to add some of that to the collection, and I actually found some stuff in there like that Vektor that I've been putting off listening to. Absolutely fell in love with. So that's the reason why I love doing CD lots, grab bags, that type of stuff. I always tend to find something in there. May have some stuff that I absolutely hate that I get in, but I always find one or two actual just gems in it that I fall in love with. So when you have a passion for listening to stuff like this, finding something new like that, there's no feeling better than that. So that's all I've got for today. Like I said, I will have the giveaway for the Black Mare vinyl in the description. So definitely go get on that giveaway. It's open worldwide. It's just a way kind of give back to you guys during the rough times that we've got going on right now. It's a worldwide rough time going on, I think. So definitely stay safe. I hope you guys are doing well. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all very soon, I promise.